The heyday, so to speak, of serial murder was in the 70s and 80s. We had far more serial killers back then than we do now. And evidence of that is the fact that when we see documentaries and movies about serial killers, they focus on Bundy and Gacy and the legacy killers of the past. There's really no high profile.
Okay, John, go ahead. What I tell you is what I know is fact.
I'm a power person. I enjoy power. Nobody else had the guts to pull off what I pulled off. I outsmarted you again.
Police today found 6 more bodies
under the home of suspected killer John Gacy.
Well, you can be walking down the street, and if Gacy lay eyes on you, you have now become his next victim.
I know society will never be able to forgive me. I know the families of the victims will never be able to forgive me for what I have done. Your Honor, it is over now.
Welcome, all you true crime lovers. Sit back, grab that blanket and hot beverage, and prepare for another Saturday night of The Murder Show, whose mind and story will we dive into tonight. Now for your host, Tim, and alongside him, his co-host, Criminology, Chris, and Classroom Jackie.
Good evening, everybody. I didn't hit you with the big boom tonight. Sorry. Welcome to another Saturday evening here on The Murder Show. I am your host, Tim, and alongside of me is my co-host, Criminology, Chris.
Hello, everybody.
And alongside of him is the director of all of our social media platforms, Classroom Jackie.
Hey, guys.
So, hopefully everybody had a pretty good week. I don't know. I had a hell week, but, you know.
It went really, really fast.
Must have been nice. It went really slow for me, but just crazy on all, aspects. But I was ready when yesterday came, Friday, so.
Yeah, you were.
Oh, yeah. Well, nobody needs to know. Anyways, so yeah, we finished building our electric chair last night. No, oh, sorry. I jumped ahead. We're not really building an electric chair. Hey, I'm not here to judge if we are. Tonight, we are, it's my pick, and I wanted to really step things up here. I wanted to find somebody that was really messed up mentally, and I think I about hit the head on the nail with this one. Um, this
Hit the
guy,
nail on the head.
yeah, is that what it is?
Hit the nail
Yeah,
with the head.
hit the nail with the head, the mail, the kale. I don't know. But we really, this guy is really bizarre. So, if anybody has any weak stomach or any of those things,
It's just gonna get really graphic.
yeah,
And
that's putting it lightly.
we are the murder podcast show. It's gonna be pretty graphic in almost every episode.
Yeah, so that's why you have the ability to just turn it off if it's too much on your end.
Or
So
if somebody else is enjoying it and you don't, just walk away.
walk away.
Yeah.
Um,
Most episodes aren't too bad, except for, I don't know, maybe we'll do a light one in January
Yeah.
where we can
Yeah.
listen to the sweet sounds of Honda and Harley Davidson motorcycles.
I'll join in from
Yes.
the sound of a plane
Sound of a plane.
or an airport.
Hey. So yeah, tonight we are covering Mr. Kemper. That's right, Edmund Kemper.
The co-ed killer.
Yes, also known as the co-ed killer. I did not know too much about him when I was trying to research and figure out who I wanted to do. I've heard of him, and then I dove into it, and I was just like, "Wow, okay, this
You
guy's pretty high up there."
Yeah, you were pretty confident when you
Oh,
sent
yeah.
out who we were doing. It was not even 12 hours after the show. You were like, we're doing this guy.
Yes. And I've been researching him all week and watching all kinds of documentaries and movies and shit. So, kind of in the beginning with his childhood. I mean, his childhood was extremely messed up. Edmund Emil Kemper the third. He was born December 18th, 1948. And total, it said he was convicted of murdering 7 women and 1 girl between May 1972 and April 1973. So we'll get into all of that um, eventually here. And I know his early life, early childhood. Um, he's what, 6'9" and 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So he's a beast. He's like a giant.
He was,
Um,
when he was born, he was a 13-pound baby. So it wasn't uncommon for him to be that big.
yeah. Oh yeah. He was. And the 300 pounds doesn't really show on him because he's so tall that it's
Oh
not,
yeah, you're
you
six
know.
foot nine. You're a large man. You're
Yeah,
just a large, you're very large.
not a lot of people are gonna fuck with him.
No.
But couple different. His mother, God, another lovely name here.
Clarnell.
Yes, Clarnell Elizabeth Kemper, and his dad was Edmund Emil Kemper Jr. So, um, excuse me. So I don't know. Did you want me to cover? How do you want to split it up here a little bit?
I
Because
can do a little bit about his parents
the
because
parents
that
and
was
stuff.
a
Okay. Oh yeah,
whole train wreck of a
yeah.
situation.
A lot of these that we cover, we always try to say, "Oh, do you think it was caused by the childhood and the upbringing and stuff?" This guy definitely, I mean, played a huge
He was
factor.
significantly impacted by his childhood.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
had to have been.
yeah.
It,
His
The nature nurture was not there.
you can argue all day long. It's just naturally happened. I don't think so. There's no way that you could go through his childhood and not have been affected.
Oh yeah.
oh, for sure. Um, so yeah, so go ahead, Jackie, and I'll kind of give the floor to you there, and then we'll, bounce back and forth, and you're going to hear a little bit of all of us, Jackie and I mostly, but we're going to kind of split it up a little bit here. So Classroom
Yeah.
Jackie's been doing a lot of the workload with all that, so we're going to try to change it up for her so she's not so stressed having to deal with doing it all by herself. So, all right, go ahead.
As we said, Edmund Emil Kemper was born December 18th. He was a 13-pound baby when he was born. There's not much about up until age 10, but I'm assuming it was pretty much didn't care, didn't love him, things like those. Mother was an alcoholic. Dad worked an electrical job, so he was an electrician. But mostly it was the issues with the mom for them. They did end up divorcing further down the road, and Clarnell took Kemper and his sisters and moved to Montana. By the age of 10, she was banishing him to the basement. He had to sleep down there while his sisters had beds, all due to the fear that he was going to hurt or touch his sisters inappropriately. That the door for the basement was in the dining room under the table and it locked. And she would have to move the table every day to let him out.
So it was behind the table, or it was in the floor.
It was in the floor, so it was like a trap door. So here's the
Oh,
table, here's
okay.
the door. It's just like that.
Almost like those, what is it, cellars, the storm cellars they used to
Yeah.
have you kind of go down the. Okay.
And he said that there was one bare light bulb in the bottom of that basement, and he would have to run to turn it on because it was so dark down there.
Oh yeah,
He didn't have a bed, a room, anything like that. It was just you're in the basement because I don't trust you.
that's crazy. That's crazy. What a punishment.
Right? But from what I read, there was really no evidence that he was going to do that. It was just the way that his mother thought.
Oh, okay. It was. Yeah, she was really, really, kooky. Huh.
Mhm. When he was younger, when he used to play with his sisters, they would play some pretty interesting games. One of them was called Gas Chamber, where they would pretend they were in a room and turn on the chamber. The other one was an electric chair.
Wow.
His sister stated that he would sit in the chair and it was just like a dining room chair. And he would have her pretend to pull the switch and he would writher around and shake and act like he was dying.
Oh my.
Mhm.
I thought I played some wild games. I played kick the can.
Well, you didn't play gas chamber?
No, no. You must have had to been on the east side of town to do that, I guess.
I guess.
Wow.
I mean, as a child, looking back at it, I mean, as a child. I don't even recollect whether or not I even knew what that was at that age. You know,
No,
like
I
how are
didn't.
they exposed to even have access to that information or have known, you know, at that age, like what that was.
Right.
Like even when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, like I didn't have a lot of
Well,
focus on methods of execution.
even as a child,
You
he
know,
was extremely smart.
right?
Extremely smart. So maybe he picked up some books and started reading.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't really say how he does in school, but there is one point where his sister is teasing him about being in school and having a crush on his teacher.
Oh, was it the second grade teacher?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
It was his older sister, Susan, who made it and asked why he did not try to kiss his teacher. He replied, "If I kiss her, I'd have to kill her first."
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, we were saying last night we had looked up that his IQ was real
Was
high,
145.
145, which is really high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Jeez.
was not. The guy was not a dummy.
Mm-mm.
No.
You know.
Another one of the games he used to play was he used to do rituals on his sister's Barbie dolls.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these rituals ended up with him removing the hands. And there was one time where they got in a fight, one of his sisters and him, and she threw a toy and broke it. So he went into the room and took one of her Barbies and popped the head off. Wasn't satisfied with that because he knew it could be fixed, and then took a pair of cutting scissors for sewing and cut the hands off, and then gave it to her and said, "Here, we now have broken toys."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was crazy,
Alrighty then.
and it just gets crazier.
Yeah, that's like a very tiny bit.
hmm He would have them tie him up for the gas chamber and electric chair thing too.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Tie up his sister?
No, his sister. He would have his sisters tie him up for gas chamber and electric chair.
I mean, I guess he was nice enough to let him be the one dying,
Right,
you
but
know?
does it make you think
Right.
of like
Yeah.
anybody else that we've covered?
Um, not yet. We haven't really done
BTK used to tie himself up
true.
Well,
as a
yeah,
young
True.
that
kid.
was for a completely different. Like I don't necessarily know that Ed Kemper got off on the fact that he was being tied up though. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. But no, I get what
it
you're
wasn't for the
saying.
same reasons. But maybe I mean even BTK when he was younger, maybe who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
You know whether he understood what he was doing or why he enjoyed it or what. Yawn.
Yeah. Now, Kemper had a really close relationship with his father after he and his mother divorced. When they moved to Montana, he said that about his mother that she was neurotic, dysfunctional, and a domineering alcoholic who he claims frequently belittled, humiliated, and abused him. He was tormented by his own mother for how tall he was and how big he was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And she told him to try and be normal when he was going to school because he was already a freak. How does your own
Jeez.
parent call you a freak,
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
right?
That's almost like that the one what was it, Netflix documentary that we watched on the what was it, bullying?
Yeah,
And it ended up being the mom doing it
the
all.
catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
calling her all the
screwed up.
names and
Oh
stuff.
my
Yeah,
god.
that had Chris all fired up that
Oh
night.
yeah, I've
He
never
was
seen you
all
on the edge of
fired
a
up.
couch wanting to climb through a TV so fast.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll have to look up the name of that, and I'll let everybody know out there if you guys ever get a chance. It's a good watch. I mean, it's sad, it's messed up, but it is a good watch.
It is
that's
horribly
yeah,
messed up.
mother sabotaging her dad and daughter's life, and they had no
Yeah,
idea.
hmm
Just carried on for how long did that go on for? I don't know, went on
that
Two
for
was
a while.
years.
over a year.
It was
Yeah,
2 years.
was it two? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Kemper had a close relationship with his father. He later told him that the relationship with his mother, that, quote, suicide missions in wartime and the atomic bomb testings were nothing compared to living with Clarnell. How
yeah,
would you feel to be in a relationship where you'd rather be in an atomic bomb test than be married?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's saying a lot.
Probably time to call her quits on the old marriage.
You don't
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd rather just have radiation.
Radiation.
Kemper exhibited multiple antisocial behaviors, such as cruelty to animals. Again, when he was 10, he buried a cat alive, then dug it up, decapitated, and mounted its head on a spike. So that's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little
Messed up.
bit. And that was one of the. It was a couple of cats he did
Yeah,
things
the next
to.
one was 13, and he cut it up and dismembered it and put it in the closet. And instead of the mom asking why the cat was there, she just told him to get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Like how?
yeah. Don't question it at all. Just hey, can you please get rid of that corpse of a cat?
Mhm. His mother stated that he was a real weirdo in a phone conversation to Kemper's father at one point. Yeah. She didn't know that he had overheard it and would often smack him for the slightest act of not listening.
That's crazy.
You know why his mother did that?
No.
She was afraid that any amount of affection would turn him gay.
Okay.
No.
Um,
Seemed like that kind of backfired.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It didn't turn him gay, it just turned him into a murderer.
Right.
yeah,
Who cares about his sexual preference? Like,
yeah.
I think.
I think the world would have rather have had him gay than to do what he did.
Yeah, whatever. I
You
mean,
know?
who cares what your your
Yeah.
sexual
To each is
preference
their
is?
own.
Yeah, it would have been a lot nicer had he just not just killed 10 people. But
Right. Though Kemper also complained that his mother was always trying to get him to go out with girls,
Hmm.
he later described her as a big, ugly, and awkward, and as a sick, angry woman. She was messed up. I don't know how you don't nurture and love your own child.
I know. I never got that about like a lot of this stuff. How can you not, nurture like you said and love the child? I don't know. I mean, I'm not in. I can't. I'm never gonna able to put myself in their mindset because I care about my kid. But just some of this stuff, it's just like, man, I don't know. But
it
Well-
seemed like a certain degree, like the mother had like a deep hatred for his father, and he would commonly just remind her of him
Maybe that
Yeah.
was it.
to a degree
Yeah.
where she just had such disgust for him because
well, the one movie that I watched, um, they the mom kept talking about, oh, well, thank you for the hearts. Well, hey, Krista, Katie, hello. Um, holy hearts. Anyways, are we
They
supposed to
just
do like
stopped.
what they do? Can't do that shit. Yeah, right. I can't do that. But anyways,
I can do it.
yeah, don't actually make gang signs.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. It's just a heart sign.
Just a heart. That's
Uh,
yeah.
Well, by 14, he did get tired of it and he ran away to his father. But at that point, his father had remarried and cared more about his second family than he did about his own son.
oh, okay. So, but it was kind of a little too late there.
Yep.
Yeah.
He remarried, had a second family, had a second child, and then shipped him off to his paternal grandparents' house, who had lived on a ranch in Nevada.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. Now we're leading up to the start of the
Very
meat and
first.
potatoes here.
Yeah, by 15 years old, he commits his first murder.
Fasten your seatbelt, folks. About to go
It's-
on a ride through hell here.
Oh, yeah, and it's about to fast track its way to the top.
Yep.
Well, and all these murders and everything he did took place in the span of a year.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
It wasn't like it dragged out
Yeah.
Except for his first
Or-
ones.
yeah, like Dennis Rader, which was 17 years.
That's, yeah. And that's a long
Or
time.
other people that lasted a long time.
Or like,
No.
what was it, Manson that spent the majority of his life in and out of prison? You
Right.
said it was like half of his life or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, we will say that oh my gosh, I had it on the tip of my tongue, and then you two were talking, and I was watching, and I was like, I lost it.
We do tend to talk, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Us
I
We're
tend
here
guys-
to lose
for,
my
you
grain
know.
of
Brain of research.
My thoughts are gone.
Womp, womp, womp.
Oh, I was saying beforehand, the first murders he did, his grandparents, there's a 9-year period before he started doing the other co-ed ones. But that one was an 11-month time frame of the rest of the murders.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's about to get nuts. Do you want to jump into the first ones?
Yep.
All right.
So, on August 27th, 1964, and this was, as Jackie said, Kemper was 15. He killed his grandmother. Not even going to butcher the name, so we'll just leave that out.
Maud Matilda.
Thank you.
You're
See, she's
welcome.
doing better at the names tonight.
I am.
And with a rifle after argument that they had gotten into, and he just shot her once in the head and twice in the back. Yes,
They-
classroom Jackie.
In the thing that we were listening to and watching earlier, they said that she was in the middle of illustrating or writing a children's book when he shot and killed her.
So there was no argument then.
It was an argument over him killing the birds in the field at the
Oh
farm.
yeah, that's right. Over the killing the birds in the field at the farm there. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, what else are you gonna do? Let's shoot her. So he shot Grandma once in the head, twice in the back, and then stabbing her several times. Because if the 3 gunshots were not enough, we've got to.
Right.
It's like Aileen.
Yeah.
Overkill.
Yeah. And then he did not originally plan on killing his, father. But then he came home and he shot him in the driveway because he did not want him to see, Grandma
His
and what
dead
he
wife.
had done. His dead wife.
Like, okay, kudos for the feelings of I don't want him to see this because I did it, but B minus for actually killing him.
Yeah. Right.
F for killing him.
Yeah. Well, as Chris had stated when we were talking last night, he really had a huge issue when it came to women.
There's certainly a difference in how he viewed people by gender, right?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
he viewed a male versus a female, the different amount of respect that he gave. I mean, obviously, the females, especially going forward in our little story here, very little thought, respect, or anything like that. He treated these people like they didn't have souls.
Like they weren't even supposed to be here type. Yeah.
But males, he had enough respect because in his mind, he's like, "Well, I'm gonna shoot my grandmother because she's a bitch. She didn't want me to kill the animals in the field, and she sucks, so I'm gonna kill her."
Yeah.
And then he shoots his grandfather, but he has enough thought and to think like, "Hey, I feel bad that he's gonna see his dead wife." Like all of a sudden, you develop some sort of
Like a feeling.
Conscious.
yeah,
Or
empathetic,
conscious,
like,
yeah.
feeling for your
Empathy. Wouldn't it be empathy?
yeah for the guy
Yeah.
you're killing.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Sorry.
Yeah. Don't you question criminology, Chris, ever again?
How dare you with your words?
So then he Kemper's crimes were deemed incomprehensible, right? Comprehensible. Yeah.
But
For a 15-year-old to commit.
his mom was the one who told him to call the police and turn himself in.
Yeah.
Because he had asked what to do.
Yeah, and kind of backtracking just a little bit here. After he had killed both of them, yeah, he called mom and asked what he should do, and then she said to call the police. So then he sat there and called them, and then waited.
Yeah.
Which I guess maybe kind of kudos there. I don't even know what to say, but
Well, calling mom and be like, I did this, what do I do? And she's like, just call the police.
yeah.
Well,
Mom's not like, why did you do it?
But he was intelligent enough to realize that what he did was wrong. He was well in control of those faculties of being able to decide whether something was wrong or right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knew what he did, but he knew also that he was smart enough to figure out that he wasn't just going to walk away from it and nobody would notice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but being, like you said, incomprehensible, like they didn't believe that a 15-year-old back in, I mean, what do you say? He was 15 when he did this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 64.
So, well, if he was 15, that would have been, 63, 64. They probably didn't, they looked at juveniles like, That's why they had all those laws and everything like that. Like they still do. Now juveniles are being tried as adults because they're starting to recognize, like, hey, these kids know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But back then, it was kind of like there's no way that somebody could kill somebody on purpose and be under the age of 18.
Hmm.
Like that's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it was definitely likely. It was probably unheard of then. You know.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, because like you do have killers that are kids, teenagers, and stuff, but I think that was more later in time. Which eventually.
Well, even if it was commonplace, it certainly wasn't tracked. And even if it wasn't tracked or was tracked, it wasn't publicized very heavily in the media because the media, I mean, they weren't displaying this information. It wasn't all over television like it is now.
No.
Something like that would happen and it would just kind of be swept under the rug or somebody would keep it quiet.
Hmm.
Municipalities and townships and people like that didn't want to broadcast that people were getting murdered in their cities or
Yeah.
things like that because, I mean, who wants your property values drop? Who the hell knows? But
Oh
they just
yeah.
they didn't want to share that information.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
know?
So psychiatrists with the court, they diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia then, and he was sent to a state hospital, maximum security facility in San Luis County. It houses mentally ill prisoners. So he was there for a while, and I remember them saying too that he actually when he did these psychological tests and stuff, all of his time there, that he actually studied them. He was so smart. He studied the whole order of these tests and the questions to where he actually psyched them out to make them think that he was deemed good enough to leave.
Right. So
Eh,
his one of
Yeah.
the few times that they did observe him and test him, his original initial testing measured his IQ at 136, which is more than the standard deviation above average. He was later re-diagnosed from that disorder that they gave him to a lesser severe one known as a personality trait disturbance, passive aggressive type, and a higher IQ of 145.
Yeah, which is Chris was saying last night because I never was good with the whole IQ thing, which means my IQ is probably about 70. But but 145 Chris said is like, genius, borderline, genius. You're getting really high up there because you
Yeah.
said most people are like 130, 135
Yeah.
maybe, or
Now, usually, I think the genius realm is somewhere between 130 and 145. If you land between 130 and 145, you're pretty
you're pretty
intelligent human
intelligent.
being.
Okay.
Yeah, I think probably the majority of people on average are flying around that 100 to 110 area or something
Yeah.
like
Then you got
that.
70s like
You
me.
would have
So
imagined it. Well, if you stop chewing on that cord that runs to your microphone, it would work better.
Can't help it. It
is there
tastes good. Put a little bit
are
of
there
salt on it.
online IQ tests? I think it'd be really fun for us to do them and
Oh
see where they
God.
are.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I
we
want to
know
know.
he'd score the
Oh yeah, I
highest.
want
I
to know what
mean,
I'm at because some days I feel like I'm a real dit.
I'd love to do that, but I always I see those things and I'm like, that's bullshit. I don't
I'm gonna find
I
one so
don't
we
know
can
that
all
I would
try
get
it,
you
and
yeah.
we'll
pro-
link it in the
you probably
YouTube.
you probably have to pay for like a really good one. I bet. I'm sure.
Right,
Um.
that's what I'm saying. Like something that's legitimate, I'm sure you'd have to put it.
Probably.
So, as Jackie was saying, yeah, he ended up producing a higher score, IQ of 145, and then as I was stating before, that he had studied these psychological tests so much that he knew how to pass them, and they ended up saying, okay, he's clear, he can go, except they went against one of the psychiatrists you were
Yeah.
stating. She actually said that he is not safe to be out in the world,
There's an actual
and they
quote
and
from
they
him.
went against it. Do you have that quote,
I
or I'll give you
do.
a few minutes, or
Yeah. No, I have it pulled up already. Um, one of the doctors said before his release, when he was 21, because he was so good at this and charming, if I were to see this patient without having any history available or getting any history from him, I would think that we're dealing with a very well adjusted young man who had initiative, intelligence, and who was free of any psychiatric illnesses. It is my opinion that he has made a very excellent response to the years of treatment and rehabilitation, and I would see no psychiatric reason to consider him to be of any danger to himself or to any member of society. And since it may allow him more freedom as an adult to develop his potential, I would consider it reasonable to have a permanent expunction of his juvenile records. So that was the one for him. The one against him.
Yeah, that's crazy. They went against her.
Well,
Yeah.
how shitty are you gonna feel when you let this guy out? You know, I mean, in
and
hindsight now, like maybe that was a bad idea.
and that lady's probably sitting there going, "I told all
I
you
told you.
motherfuckers,
Yeah, I
you
told
know,
you. I told you. Yeah,
and you went against me, you know."
that deserved
Give me 1 second. You
Oh,
guys keep
you're
talking.
fine. You're fine. So I'll go continue going forward here, and then we'll jump back when Jackie finds that quote. Um, so on December 18th, 1969, it was Kemper's 21st birthday was when he was released on parole from the mental facility there against the recommendations of psychiatrists at the hospital. So it sounds like it was more than one
Oh
psychiatrist
yeah,
that was against him.
and he was a pretty smooth talker too.
Oh
I mean, it
yeah,
wasn't like
yeah,
this guy wasn't just highly intelligent, but he was the guy that sits in the back of the classroom that doesn't talk or doesn't actually interact socially with other people.
yeah,
This guy was a talker.
yeah.
Not only was he chatty, but he actually was like charismatic. Like you could actually have a conversation with him. He actually is a convincing, like well responded, like
Person,
well
yeah.
to do human being that could have a conversation. So I think that made him put a little bit more.
I
Oh
actually
yeah.
found the whole clip. Um, I'll send it to you.
Yes, send it to me and I can play it. Um, so then Kemper was released to go stay with his mom. Um, and while he was staying there, he did attend a community college in accordance with his parole requirements. And he actually wanted to be a cop, uh,
Yeah,
out of all things, but he was rejected, they said, because of his size. I didn't realize that you could be rejected to be a cop because you're too tall.
I had no
It may
idea.
not. It may have been size and body weight.
He definitely had the perfect mustache that
Oh yeah.
required for that line of
He
work.
has like that firefighter's mustache too, you know?
Yes.
Because man, if I was a bad guy and I seen him get out of the cop car, I'd shit my pants and drop to the ground and be like, "Go ahead." You know, maybe they turned him down because he wouldn't fit in the car to drive it, you know?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
how far back you gotta have that seat?
Right. Like I understand qualifications to be an astronaut, like you're not gonna fit in the damn shuttle. But like to be a cop, I didn't know that there was a yeah.
I'm sure a lot of that's changed now though, between then and now.
Oh
I'm
sure.
sure it
Yeah.
doesn't matter
Right.
now. Um So yeah, that was when they said because he stood 6 feet 9 inches, which then led to his nickname Big Ed. So Kemper did remain. He did maintain relationships with Santa Cruz police officers despite his rejection from joining the force. And they would hang out at a bar called the Jury Room, where all the local cops hang out. Um, So, he knew what he was doing there by, well, I got rejected, but I'm gonna stay on the good side of these guys, and they already kinda know me a little bit, so he definitely knew what he was there, which is crazy. So, moving on, Kemper did work a series of, jobs before gaining employment at the State of California Division in 1971. And I guess during that time, he did have a relationship, uh, and it remained toxic and hostile. Him and his girlfriend at the time, frequent fights that the neighbors often overheard. Um, Oh, I know that all too well. Kemper later described
Oh.
the arguments he had with his mother around this time, stating the following: "My mother and I started right on a horrendous battles, just horrible battles, violent and vicious. I've never been in such a vicious verbal battle with anyone. It would go to fist with a man, but this was my mother, and I couldn't stand the thought of my mother and I doing these things. She insisted on it and just over stupid things. I remember one roof raiser was over whether I should have my teeth cleaned.
Oh yeah.
Wow. You get in an all-out verbal brawl because if you should get your teeth cleaned.
Right.
Damn.
And even when he was finally able to escape, which was getting enough money to move out, he never fully got rid of her. She would always call him or do regular surprise visits.
Yeah. So that same year, he like I said, had begun working for um the job that he was at, which was I don't know, it was back there. Oh, the state of California division. Kemper was hit by a car while riding his motorcycle that he had recently bought. He actually badly hurt his arm in the crash, and he received a $15,000 insurance settlement payout civil suit that he filed against the car's driver. Um, as he was driving around in a 1969 Ford Galaxy he bought with part of his settlement money. That was when he started to notice a lot of young women hitchhiking.
Yeah.
That was
Right.
when driving around, he's cruising around and he's kind of like, oh, okay, I see a lot of hitchhikers and stuff here,
Yeah.
which I think started to kind of spark his mind. And
Right.
Well, this was also the same time where he started storing plastic bags, knives, blankets, and handcuffs in his own car. Um, he had picked up, he said, about 150 hitchhikers who were in line with this pattern of they're driving around. It's the kind of person he's looking at.
Mhm.
At that point, this is where he started feeling those homicidal sexual urges that he called his little zapples.
Oh God, here we go into the little zapples and
Sparky big times.
yeah, Sparky Big Time there. Which, if you guys don't remember Sparky Big Time is from BTK. Yeah, when he was getting off, right? He was having Sparky Big Time.
Yeah.
That was Chris's most favorite serial killer that we ever cutted. He absolutely adores him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around with you.
He later began acting on those and would blame his victims for his killing them, saying they were flaunting in his face the fact that they could do any damn thing they wanted and that society is as screwed up as it is.
Well, yeah. Once again, he didn't have a whole lot of respect for these people. I mean, he started picking up these hitchhikers, and I mean, a lot of these girls, right? I don't think he even just grabbed them. Like he didn't snatch them and throw them in the car. Similar to what Laura said in the chat there, like this guy was a pretty, like I mentioned before, he's a pretty charismatic guy.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Not only did people feel safe back then, though, they were often hitchhiking everywhere. They didn't use Uber. They didn't have anything like that. They weren't hanging out like getting rides or calling for rides and taking out their cell phone, which they didn't have, or using the payphone to call somebody to get
Yeah.
a ride somewhere. They were just going out to the street and sticking their thumb out. So
Mhm.
it wasn't like this guy had a hard time, um, getting people to hop in his car.
No, they were free willing, just getting in.
Yeah.
He'd pull up in the one movie that I watched, he'd pull up and he'd just be like, hey, where are you headed? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I'm going that way too. Why don't you
Yeah.
jump on? And
Oh, yeah.
a few of them, he even drove up and he said, I'm trying to remember the way that he worded it, but he looked at these girls and he said, boy, have you heard what's been going on? And they're like, oh, yeah, the co-ed killer, the guy going around. And then he's like, well, I don't think you should be out right now. Why don't you get on in the car and I'll give you a ride? Like he used that line,
He used himself.
Yeah. And they didn't have any sketches or nothing of him at the time.
Mm-hmm. You remember?
I was like, what's that look for?
No, you remember the jury room that he hung out in?
Yeah.
The bar?
Yeah.
Later on down the road, during these, while everything's being discovered, he's still hanging out with the police at that bar, and they're discussing the whole investigation with
Oh my
him, not
gosh.
knowing he is the killer.
Right.
Like, fucked up.
Yeah,
Oh
you might
shit.
want to be cluing the guy that is killing everybody in on how you're progressing in your investigation.
Well, unfortunately, he did pick up into murdering with those hitchhikers. His first murders, officially for the co-ed killings, were Marianne Pesky and Anita. I am not butchering her last name. So, on May 7th, 1972, Kemper was driving in Berkeley when he picked up the two 18-year-old hitchhiking students from Fresno State University, Marianne and Anita Mary, who were trying to visit friends at Stanford. After driving for an hour, he managed to reach a secluded wooded area near Alameda, where was familiar with because of the highway department. Excuse me. He did not alert the passengers that they were there. He must have been talking to them so much. He did decide while he was there, he handcuffed Pesky and locked Anita in the trunk, then stabbed and strangled Marianne to death, subsequently killing unleashed Anita in a similar manner. Kemper later confessed that while handcuffing Marianne, he had accidentally brushed the back of his hand against one of her breasts and was embarrassed, so he said, "Whoops, I'm sorry," or something like that after touching her.
Jeez.
The look on your face.
So,
God forbid you offended her, right?
so real quick, I'm going to the psychiatrist that was against releasing him. I got that clip. Jackie sent it to me. So we're gonna play this clip real quick and listen to this on what they say on the psychiatrists that were against sending what was it Kemper out. Yeah, I'm not even getting into that. So here is the clip.
At Atascadero, they said when he is released, he should not be released into the custody of his mother, because his mother is the precipitating factor for a lot of his anger.
So yeah, I mean that's just one of the things that psychiatrists had said at that time. So just a short little clip there. I just kind of wanted to play it. So go ahead, carry on.
Kemper put both of the women's bodies in the trunk of his car and returned to his apartment. On the way home, he was stopped by a police officer for a broken taillight.
Yeah.
The police officer didn't notice the corpses in the trunk as he acted very just normal. Kemper's roommate was not at home when he finally got home, so he took the bodies into the apartment and photographed and had intercourse with them.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is where it really starts getting
This is very
sick.
much Jeffrey Dahmer right there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think Jeffrey Dahmer was having sex with all of his victims after they were dead, though. Was he?
Most of them.
I knew
There was
he.
one that escaped.
But what makes Kemper so bizarre is that he was chopping up the body parts and then mostly like screwing the skulls,
Well,
which is crazy.
yeah, he said that he dismembered them after he had screwed them. He then put the body parts in plastic bags, which he later abandoned near Loma Prieta Mountain. Before disposing of their severed heads in a ravine, Kemper engaged in oral with both of them. In August of that year, Marianne's skull was found on the mountain, and an extensive search failed to turn up the rest of her body or Anita's.
I think the majority of the reason, well, I think all the reasons why he did what he did, but a lot of it was like a power and possession sort of
Mhm.
reasoning behind it. I think that due to the rejection that he had suffered throughout his life, not only from people, friends, or people, classmates, or whatever, him not being able to get a job as a cop because he's too big, but being made fun of his entire life by his mother, you know, I think that through killing these girls, like they were unable to reject him. And
Oh, okay.
so he basically was turning them into a, well, not so living doll.
Yeah.
And then he didn't have to fear any kind of rejection. So
Yeah.
he had complete power over these people because they were obviously no longer alive. But
Yeah.
there's actually a quote in this book I was reading here, and it was by Kemper, and he actually said, "If I killed them, they couldn't reject me as a man. It was more or less making a doll out of a human being and carrying out my fantasies with a doll, a living human doll." So I think that was his way of ensuring that there wasn't going to be any kind of,
Right.
because like you were saying, he brushed up against one of them, and he was afraid to have offended them because he was afraid that they would reject him.
He also had there was a quote where he said he would drive around and look at girls, and one part of him would think how pretty they are, the other part would think what they would look like if they were dead.
Right. That was.
Yeah, you may have a problem if you're thinking that.
And I quote, when I see a pretty girl walking down the street, I think two things. One part of me wants to take her out, talk to her, be real nice and sweet, and treat her right. And the other part of me wonders what her head would look like on a stick.
Yeah. So how pretty or what she looked like when she's dead.
Right.
That's not a problem. Everybody
No,
has those
no,
thoughts.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just the initial, like, yeah, I probably would, yeah, just like to take you out, treat you right, not.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Oh my
If you wonder what
gosh.
someone's head looks like on a stick, you might want to just go talk to somebody.
Yeah,
Right.
you
Just
might, you
know,
might wanna
throwing it out there. I'm not by any means a psychiatrist or anything
Yeah.
like that.
But
Right.
May want to have a chat.
Probably. Now, we're not going to cover every single one of the victims because there are 10 of them, obviously. And we only have a certain amount of time. So,
yeah. So we are into our second one here,
mhm.
which you're gonna have to pronounce that name.
Nope, that's on him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Aku.
Well, I go.
Yeah,
Aiko.
Aiko. So this one's crazy because I watched a documentary on this on well all of his killings, but this one uh particularly stepped out or stayed in my mind because I'll explain here. But on the evening of September 14th, 1972, Kemper picked up a 15-year-old Korean dance student. Um, she was hitchhiking to dance class after missing her bus. Um,
Wait, one of her friends saw her and was like, doubted herself after this and said, what if I had just gone with her and I had missed the bus myself? What if I had just missed the bus and stayed with her?
yeah, that's
She
true.
always blamed herself for this.
Yeah, I remember she talked in the one that we watched last night. Yeah. Um, he then drove her to a remote area. He pulled a gun on her before this is where it gets wild, before accidentally locking himself out of the car. So he gets out of the car and goes around to the passenger side of the car and then realizes that he locked himself out and the keys are still in the car.
And the gun.
And the gun's in the car too. Well, Koo, that's what they're referring here. Koo is looking at him and then just nonchalantly reaches over and unlocks the door to let him in.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was he just that freaking charming that she was like, oh, even though he has a gun and I'm in the middle of nowhere, he's not going to do anything to me? Or was she just naive? Because I understand she was 15,
Yeah.
but if somebody is taking me somewhere I don't know and there's a gun, I am not going to open the door and let you back in the vehicle. I'm going to drive away and run you over.
Well, like you said, I mean, she was probably naive. She's young. She's 15. And she probably, maybe she was trying to give him benefit of the doubt or something. I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Because a
Well,
lot of Koreans are extremely smart.
And at that point in time, had he displayed any sort of like aggressive behavior or anything toward her that might make her even consider that he's going to harm her in any way?
Well, other than showing the gun.
He pulled the gun on her before that.
Oh,
But
he
then,
actually like
yeah,
pointed at her?
but then something had happened to where he ended up having to get out of the car, and I forget what it was.
He was trying to handcuff her.
Okay, And then he got out of the car to go around to her side to get in the back, and that's when he realized he locked himself out. So yeah, he did pull the gun on her. That's what I'm saying. Like at that point, you had to get away. The keys were in the car. You had the gun. You could have just grabbed the gun and not well. I wouldn't even say open the door because he's a big guy. Maybe she was just afraid of him, and that's why she unlocked the car. I mean, remember he's 6'9", 300 pounds. She could have
Well,
just been
yeah,
petrified of the guy. Um, because who's to say if she would have tried to jump over the seat into the front, he wouldn't have just bashed the window or something. I mean,
Right.
but I don't know. It's hard to say because we don't, we're not going to know what kind of mindset she was in, you
unless
know?
you're able to put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
And
And
unfortunately, like trying to put yourself in her shoes is so
no,
tough.
and I don't want to. You're a big guy, Chris, so maybe we could try to reenact it tomorrow using my car. But
I will not be present
I
for
will
that.
not be
Right.
present. But so yeah, anyways, he accidentally locked himself out and then she let him back in, despite the fact that the gun was still in the car. And then he proceeded to choke her unconscious, rape her, kill her.
Yeah, she woke back up.
Yeah, so he choked her out and thought she was dead in the back seat, drug her outside the car and laid her on the ground and proceeded to try to rape her. Well, when he started to, she came back too.
Yep.
And then he strangling her again, What's his name? BTK
BTK.
thinking he had him killed.
I really feel like BTK was a copycat of this guy.
He could have been. I mean, we talked last night. Um, what was it? There was something that you guys were saying that you wonder if BTK took from him.
The Little
Oh,
Zappos,
the little
the Sparky Big
Zappos. Yeah,
Times.
yeah, Sparky
Yeah,
Big Times.
there
I
were a
mean,
lot of similarities. I think the copycatish sort of nature
Yeah,
of
and
yeah.
BTK
how
had
he kind
said
of pulled information from different
right.
serial killers.
So Kemper ended up packed Koo's body into the trunk of his car and went to a nearby bar to have a few drinks and then returned to his apartment. He later confessed that after exiting the bar, he opened the trunk of his car, admiring his catch like a
Do you
fisherman.
know how lucky he was that no one walked by or out at the same time as him and caught that?
I mean, this just gets more fucking wild. Like, you are admiring this girl that you raped and killed, like they said, like you're a fucking fisherman. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
come on. Went back to his apartment, had sexual intercourse with the corpse, then dismembered and disposed of the remains. And I remember him stating that he simply said, I just got bored with her. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, she's dead. You don't think she's going to be boring? What, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
hey, how
right.
was your day today, Koo? You doing all right there?
You're looking
Why aren't
for
you talking?
yeah, looking for entertainment. It probably is a lot better. You're better suited seeking out somebody alive. Yeah,
Why don't you hold me? What's wrong?
that's absurd.
That,
Just
it's bizarre. So, anyways, Koo's mother called the police to report the disappearance of her daughter, put hundreds of flyers asking for information, but she did not receive any response.
There is still no known where her remains are.
And that's sad. I feel bad for her mom and family and stuff, what they had to go through, because I remember her mom saying that she was such an intelligent young lady and she was in dance and all
And
this stuff.
she was so sweet.
Yeah.
bright
Just
future.
sweet.
Yeah,
And,
she
and
just
and that could have been why she let him back in the car too, because she was caring, she was sweet, she was kind. Maybe she thought if I let this guy back in and I show him that I'm not going to run and I'm not afraid, maybe
I mean,
he'll.
yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, well, we won't ever know, but
Right.
so that was his second kill. We said we were going to go on to the
Yeah, Rosalinda and Alice.
Rosalind, yeah, and Alice. There, did you want to cover those, and then I'll hit the last one?
Yeah, the last one we'll split a little bit.
God.
On February 5th, 1973, after a fight with his mother, Kemper left the house looking for new victims. At this point, there was heightened suspicion of a serial killer preying on hitchhikers in Santa Cruz area. So it was getting to the point where people noticed and knew what was going on. Students were being advised to accept rides only from cars with university stickers. Now, his mother worked at UC Santa Cruz and separately and gave him a sticker to put on the car. He picked up Rosalinda, who was 23, and 20-year-old Allison Liu at the UCSC campus. According to Kemper, he had first encountered them when she was exiting a building and attended a lecture. Thorpe entered the passenger seat and, believing Kemper to be a fellow student, began chatting with him. Shortly, they went and picked up Alice, whom he described as a small Chinese girl thumbing a ride. Kemper stopped his vehicle, and she entered the car. Shortly thereafter, they had been pulled over, actually, because police were asking who they were, and Kemper said, "Oh, I'm just taking my sisters home." And when the police asked, they looked at him, and instead of being like, "Oh no, we're hitchhikers," they went along with it.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that.
Shortly thereafter, Kemper slowed his vehicle and then shot Thorpe in the head with a .22 pistol. He then turned towards Alice as she cowered in the back seat. She had been screaming as well. His first two shots missed the girl, but the third hit her in the temple. Their bodies were then wrapped in blankets. He again brought his victims back to his mother's house this time. This time, he beheaded them in his car and carried the headless corpses into his mother's house to have intercourse with them. He then dismembered the bodies, removed the bullets to prevent identification, and discarded their remains the next morning. Some remains were found at Eden Canyon a week later and were found near Route 1 in March. When questioned in an interview as to why he decapitated them, he explained, "The head trip fantasies were a bit like a trophy. You know, the head is where everything is at. The brain, eyes, mouth. That's the person. I remember being told as a kid, you cut off the head and the body dies. The body is nothing after the head is cut off. Well, that's not quite true. There's a lot left in the girl's body without the head."
Jeez.
Like, ew.
Yeah.
Blech.
Well, you do a pretty good one there. That was really good. So, moving on to his final two murders here and his arrest. Now, this is where it
Oh
gets.
my god.
If you thought the rest of the stuff was really messed up, boy, wait to hear this shit. So, on April 20th, 1973, Kemper was awakened by his mother coming home from a party. While sitting in her bed reading a book, she noticed Kemper enter the room, and she said to him, "I suppose you're going to want to sit up all night and talk now." Kemper replied, "No, good night." He waited for her to fall asleep, then he snuck back into her room to bludgeon her with a claw hammer and slit her throat with a penknife. Kemper then beheaded her and excuse me, I always have humiliated her corpse, as he stated in a 1984 interview. So this is Chris's favorite part. He then stated, now listen to this, quote unquote, he stated that he had put her head on a shelf and screamed at it for an hour, threw darts at it, and ultimately smashed her face in. He also cut her tongue out and her larynx and put them in a garbage disposal. And they also said on there that the garbage disposal could not break down the tough vocal cords, and they ejected the tissues back into the sink.
So there's a broken up tongue in that disposal, and the larynx,
I-
the voice box is going wee.
I remember they interviewed him and they asked him, "Why, out of all things, did you put the vocal cords in the disposal?" And he said, "Because she wouldn't shut the fuck up." Like,
As much as he bitched and screamed and yelled at me over the years, it seemed appropriate.
yeah, yeah. Kemper then hid his mother's corpse in a closet and went to drink at a nearby bar. Also, what he did with his mother's head was, his mom, before that, for a long time, had always complained and bitched that she wasn't getting laid. So he stated that he decided to take care of that for her and took her head into his room and continued to screw her head. So, yeah, we have that.
Yeah.
Upon his return from the bar, he invited his mother's best friend in, and this is where I'll let Classroom Jackie
This is so fucked up.
finish this one. Go ahead.
He invited his mother's best friend over to the house, who was 59-year-old Sarah Taylor Sally, to have dinner and watch a movie. When she arrived, Kemper strangled her and put her corpse in a closet, obscuring any outward sign of a disturbance, and then left a note to the police. It read, quote, approximately 5:15 a.m. Saturday. No need for her to suffer anymore at the hands of the horrible, murderous butcher. It was quick, asleep, the way I wanted it. Not sloppy and incomplete, gents. Just a lack of time. I got things to do. I killed somebody and I got things to do.
I gotta go cut the grass.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, afterwards they said Kemper fled the scene and he drove nonstop to Colorado and he took caffeine pills to stay awake because it was over 1,000-mile drive.
And this is like one of the craziest things because he does call the police and turns himself in. But because police don't believe him because of how smart and charming he is, they tell him to call back later.
Could you imagine that?
Hi, I killed my mom and I haven't heard anything on the radio, so I'm trying to turn myself in. Yeah, no, you didn't, buddy. Well, we don't believe you. Call back again.
Call back later.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris? What do you think of this? Did I take the icing on the cake with this one?
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I mean, starting off back when he was 15, do you know that they diagnosed him as a paranoid schizophrenic, but he was only 15 years old. That's early onset schizophrenia, and even that is an extremely rare situation. Like it's rare enough to be a paranoid schizophrenic. It's extremely rare to have early onset, which usually is I think usually onset is typically between 18 and 30 for guys.
Mm-hmm.
So if that were to occur prior to that, but they ended up actually reevaluating him after he got sent to Atascadero State Hospital. So, I mean, after that point in time, psychiatrists and social workers and everything, they ended up disagreeing, and they ended up basically pulling that back because they said there were no signs of delusions, hallucinations, or bizarre thinking. So they're
Wow.
probably swayed by once again, how well spoken he was, and how well he discussed all this stuff with everybody. Because even later on down the road, after all this had occurred, and this guy had gone off to prison at the end of the day, Ed Kemper, one of which a big part of actually creating criminal profiling that we see now. So, because discussing this material with him, he was actually very open, honest, very analytical. He was actually willing to have discussions and break down his mental state with these FBI profilers. So, the actual profiling or criminal profiling that exists today was built based on um, not his, but his description of who he was and why he did what he did.
Yeah.
So he actually helped out quite a bit into helping to understand the criminal mind.
Yeah, it's
I do have a quick question. It does say that after he gets arrested for all of this, that a detective gave him truth serum. Was there such thing as truth serum?
Is it truth serum or
Truth.
true?
Truth.
Oh, truth?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I don't even know what that would. Let me see if I can.
I think that there's a legitimate gas that you can give somebody that'll,
Okay.
or is there something they can shoot them up with that, like,
From
you
1973 though.
you see like these movies and stuff like that. Oh, I shot him up with sodium pentothal and he blah blah blah. I don't know if
That's
real.
exactly. So yeah, kind of like truth serum is a collagual name for any of a range of psychiatric drugs used in the effort to obtain information from subjects who are unable or unwilling to provide it. Ethanol, and a whole bunch of these other ones that I'm not even
It
gonna,
probably only
butcher.
puts them into a state in which you're basically speaking to their subconscious because they're so sedated.
Yeah, like you're really, really
So yeah,
relaxed.
you're sedated to
You're
the
high.
point where you're actually not willing to that part of your brain that functions to defend yourself in a situation in which you need to lie is not functioning properly enough in order to
Oh, you
uh,
said it. Sodium,
pentothal.
yes, is
Yeah.
commonly known as truth serum.
Man, look at me.
It's a
But I think I got
anesthetic.
that from a Schwarzenegger movie or something like that. I don't know.
It works by decreasing the metabolic activity of the brain, thereby making it hard to think and further lie. But does it actually guarantee the truth?
So that's it. So basically, it helps shut down or put you in a state in which that part of your brain is not conscious enough to be able to carry out those.
The lie or
Yeah,
whatever. Okay.
right.
I'd never heard of that before, so that's pretty good. I didn't know that.
He was indicted on May 7th for 8 counts of first-degree murder. He attempted suicide twice while in custody, and at one point, due to Kemper's explicit and detailed confession, his counsel's only option was to plead not guilty by reason of insanity. He was later found to be very, very calm, very pogo, and not. Well, what was it? He said he was
Insane.
legally sane. Legally
Yeah.
sane.
Yeah.
One of his psychiatrists investigated his juvenile record and diagnosed him as psychotic. Uh, Supposedly, somebody gave him truth serum, and he said that he engaged in cannibalism, but there's no proof of this. It said
I,
that he ate strips of flesh and put it in a casserole, but there's no proof, and he later said that he never did that.
I honestly wouldn't put it past them.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I understand the
you're
dismembering
already,
and the stuff, but maybe not the eating. Like that's very
but put yourself so, and I'm not in his mindset or shoes by all means, but put yourself in his mindset, and you're doing all these things to a corpse. You don't think at some point it would hit his brain to try to take things a step further?
Well, isn't it
maybe.
that thing that we were watching? Didn't he say something along? Was it actually an embellishment by the whoever created the actual show that we were watching, or did he truly say, "I think she's pretty. I wonder if she tastes pretty"?
No, that was on one of the actual tape recordings from
Oh
the guy's
yeah.
father.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
So it
maybe
kind
it
of,
could.
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, depending on how you take that statement, I mean,
yeah,
it could go a couple different ways.
yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah,
So
that's true.
California used, and I'm gonna butcher this. The we talked about last night. The MNAGHTN. How do you say it?
Oh, the Mitnatten standard or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
standard, which held that a defendant to establish a defense on a ground of insanity, it must be clearly proved that at the time of committing the act, the party accused was laboring under such a defect of reason, from disease or mind, and not to know the nature and quality of the act he was doing, or if he did know it, that he did not know he was doing what was wrong. Kemper appeared to have known that the nature of his acts were wrong, and he had shown signs of malice, therefore. On November 1st, he took the stand. He testified that he killed the women for himself like possessions, and attempted to convince the jury that he was insane based on the reasoning that his actions could have been committed only by someone with an aberrant mind. He stated that two beings inhabited his body and that the killer personality took over. It was kind of like blacking out. He was found guilty on all counts on November 8th, 1973, and asked for the death penalty, requesting death by torture. However, there was a moratorium placed by the Capitol saying that he could not be, and instead received 7 years to life for each count. These terms to be served concurrently, and was sentenced to the California Medical Facility in Vacaville.
That's wild. What a wild story with this guy, by all
hmm
means. And he's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's what, 77 now?
Yep, they describe him as just a cold-blooded killer, killing everybody he saw for no good reason. Um, there was another guy that he manipulated, which was a guy, to try and get him out of prison.
Yeah,
Treat him like a pet, pretty much.
and then if you look at his mugshot from 2019, he lost the
Oh,
mustache,
did you see the one from 2024? He really is aged now.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that one, but I'll have to look it up. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to pick a really
Oh, you did.
sick, twisted, messed up one, and I think I kind of did just a little bit, but yeah, I can't even to begin to describe. I mean, out of a lot of the stuff that we cover and serial killers that we cover, I mean, this guy definitely takes the icing, one of them on the cake there. But he does share a lot of similarities with, BTK and what's it, Dahmer and stuff too. But I just, yeah, I mean, this is crazy. These poor girls and then his mom and her friend that lost their lives, and all they were doing was just hitchhiking. It's so sad, I mean,
The fact that he killed his mom, I understand because of just how she was, like the narcissism, picking on him, bullying things.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't deserve to die, but at the same time, like, yeah,
yeah, she
she
put him through
Right.
hell.
she
But
probably should have maybe
loved him?
well, it maybe should have been punished herself to a degree by some legal, you know, entity for the
I was
crap
trying to
she
fix
did
my
to her
chair.
kid. Because anybody that stuffing her kid in a cellar or a
Yeah.
crawl space, it kind of
Right. But inviting the friend over after you've already killed your mom and
Well,
for dinner and a movie and then just killing her right there.
well, what's
She
it?
didn't do
The
anything.
Netflix and chill. Was
Netflix
that
and
what
murder?
Netflix?
Movies and murder?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to watch? I'm gonna watch me splitting your skull open.
No.
But yeah. So, anyways, guys, we thank you for listening in. Couple things here. Next week will be Saturday, same time. But it'll be our last show of the year. Um, so after that, we're gonna take a little bit of a break, finishing out
Just a
this.
little 3-week break.
Yeah, like a little 3-week break, and then we'll be back after the start of the new year. There, it's been one hell of a ride with this show so far, and I can't thank everybody enough for their support and love with it. It's awesome. It's great watching it grow. I forgot to state in the beginning, but follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are at Murder Show for those TikTok and Facebook, and then our YouTube channel here, of course. If you are watching us live right now, subscribe to this too as well. We appreciate it. So I believe we're up over 50 now. So
We are?
that's awesome. Yeah, just to go. We've been doing this. This is episode number 12 now. So 12 weeks to go from like no one watching or one person watching to freaking 50 subscribe now is really cool. So I
Yeah, and watching
appreciate
it
it.
grow since we joined with you is
pretty
Yeah.
wild, but
amazing.
it is just it's fun to do.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
blast.
it's
We
fun.
enjoy doing it. Next week will be Chris's pick to finish out. So he's going to have to go out with a bang to finish out
Ooh. Wait, and
2025.
then I get to bring it in
You
for
get to bring it in
2026.
for 2026. So
Oh man.
we'll see if
Maybe we'll do a 3-parter in
yes.
26.
And so yeah. Chris is like, oh God,
We'll see.
here we go with this shit again. But no, thank you everybody for listening. Been a wonderful night here. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend and everyone has a good week next week and a good Christmas, although I'll wish you that next week. So
Yeah.
fuck all that right now. Anyways, I think that is it. Other than that, Jackie, take us the hell out of here.
See ya. Same crime time, same crime place.